the name Madison Social. It's on Madison Street, but it also ties to New York a little bit, where we were, Madison Avenue and so on and so forth.
I mean, I think the word social, it's more than just a word that we threw in the name, but you hope that who you hire and who it is embody what you think the word social means, which is, actually caring about the community that you're in, making sure that somebody has a really good experience. You go above and beyond. I've always loved the fact Madison Social can have, you look around now, I've watched 3 families walk in with kids, like small kids in strollers. There's 40-year-old professionals. There's 20-year-old college students. That's the stuff that I think is really special, because Tallahassee did not have a place like that until we came about, where everybody felt comfortable under one roof and can do so till pretty much the wee hours of the night. And I love that aspect of what we are.
So the story goes is in, I think, September, October 2011, we were playing Oklahoma at home, and I met a booster at a tailgate.
So Brian came to my tailgate for the Oklahoma game in 2011.
He knew the bar that I owned and was operating in New York City, called Saloon, which was the official New York City Florida State alumni bar.
And he goes, "Yeah, I got a meeting tomorrow with this guy named Ed Murray about this area called College Town that they're building over there." And I go, well, Ed Murray's my cousin, and that place is a crap hole, man. Like, what are you gonna do there?
He pointed through the IM fields and said, over there in that dirt lot, in a couple of years, we're planning on having a mixed-use bars and restaurants, nightlife, residential housing project, and we're looking for bar restaurant operators. The developer, his name's Alan Hooper, and we talked about the project. I told him about building my dream bar restaurant, which would be impossible in New York City because it would be too expensive, and there's just not this type of space available.
Came back down to officially pitch a concept, I think in March 2012.
There were obviously variables. One, my wife and I, Katie, we were living in New York City, and opening up a place in Tallahassee isn't exactly like 2 bus stops away. It's two flights away. And we didn't have any operational partners, or didn't know anybody really in the bar restaurant industry in Tallahassee.
By April 2012, we were sitting at that time it was called Midtown Filling Station, having lunch. And I said, look, I'd kind of like to diversify on what I do. And he said, well, what if you got into this? And he's like, I could use a local partner. And that's where it started. I became the local partner just that quickly.
Late June, I think, of 2012, we signed a lease. And then we had a year to really prepare to get open.
Look at that chair you're next to. Look at this place. It's so cool.
It's being in the place.
They're not staying like that.
I was actually the very first hire for Madison Social. I started off here as the general manager. Back in 2013, I was hired about a month prior to opening that August.
Started out as a bartender, really just trying to make a little bit of extra cash, knowing that a new bar right in the shadows of Doak Campbell Stadium during football season would do really well. And was excited to have the opportunity just to work here as a bartender. We had just won the national championship, so as you can imagine, this place was lively. People just screaming and yelling.
The whole place was just full of people. The energy was huge.
Brian and I were both in Pasadena for the 2013 national championship game. I have the video, and I saw what it was.
The whole place erupted to where I felt like the building was going to fall down.
First thing I did is I grabbed the bottle of champagne, shook it as hard as I could, and just started spraying everybody that was in front of me.
He was shooting champagne all over the place, getting yelled at, because that's stuff you can't get out of TVs for like years.
our GM at the time, now director of operations for the company, I asked him for another case of champagne because we were running low because I was just spraying everybody. And he slams down the case of champagne and sternly yells at me, "No more spraying champagne!" And then not even a second later goes, "But go Knowles!"
Madison Social was the first place to open in the district, and then it just grew from there. So it's been an amazing thing to be a part of. I'm thankful for it every day.
What started as just a simple idea to hopefully college students drink a little better, to now we are a major economic drive in Tallahassee. We have 238 employees, and we're about $11 million a year in food and beverage. Between everything that we do, I think that's absolutely phenomenal, and I'm appreciative that it all started here.
Got to know the full team, and they've become my crazy uncles, my crazy cousins, and we live and die together every single day, and so excited to not only grow into the position I am now, doing marketing and everything with them, but to grow further into the future and take Madison Social to hopefully places Tallahassee's never seen before.
One of my favorite things to do at 8 o'clock at night when the sun's set and the candles are out and the lights are dim and you get like an amber hue in here from the lighting fixtures and the candlelight, and I just walk around the space and I'm just blown away by how it's just its own little city working, and people are buzzing around. Tons of people are in here drinking and talking and enjoying each other in this beautiful, magical environment, and that's probably my proudest part of it, to kind of just fly below the radar and just watch people and enjoy themselves.